Hello and welcome to a little tutorial on how to register for classes on the Powerschool system. First of all, we're assuming that you've logged into Powerschool, and on the sidebar you've selected class registration, and you should get a screen that looks very much like this. Each grade will have a slightly different screen. This one's for grade 10s, but they are similar in some ways. First of all, you'll see some information that's important. So here it says grade 10s must be fully scheduled to earn 40 credits. You're not allowed to have a spare, and leadership does not count towards the scheduled 40 credits. So those are things that you just need to know, and any questions about any of that, then you need to talk to your advisor. The reason leadership does not count is because it's outside of the timetable, and we want people fully scheduled in their timetable. The other piece of information you'll see at the bottom that's really important when you look at the screen, if you scroll down, if you look very much at the bottom, it actually tells you how many credits you must register in, how much you've already requested, so we haven't done any requesting yet, and additional credit hours, wouldn't worry about those, but the requesting 0, we haven't done anything yet. So as soon as we change that, then we'll see that go up, and once we get to how many we've requested, it'll let us submit. Going back up to the top here, some other things you need to look at. First of all, you'll notice there's different course groups, and some of those course groups you have to select courses in, and some you don't necessarily have to, or you get to select more than one. On the right hand side, you'll notice that there's some exclamation marks and some check marks. If there's an exclamation mark on that course group, you have to select at least one course and haven't done so yet. If there's a check mark, you may select some, but you don't necessarily have to, or when you're done selecting, you'll see a check mark there. So let's take a quick look at those to start out with. And we're going to actually go down to electives, and we'll tell you why in a minute. So we're going to click on the electives and we're going to select some. So I have to select some electives, and here it says I must select at least 3. When I click in there, you'll see that information, that there's the course names, the description, and some prerequisite notes that are something you should pay attention to. You can select courses on the side. One of the things to always look at is scroll to the bottom. There are sometimes more than one page that you can select courses from, not all the time, but please check that out because this is not all of the courses you can select. There's also some more information at the bottom that you may select, in this case between 3 and 4 courses, and you haven't selected any yet. So let's go ahead and select some. So I'm going to select band, I'm going to select digital media, I'm going to go to one of the other pages. Let's say I also wanted yoga. Perfect. I'm going to select that. Now you'll notice that at the bottom it says selected 3 courses. I can hit OK. And now if you look at that one on the electives, it tells you which courses you've selected and the green check marks there. So now I have to go back and select a whole bunch of different courses. One of the things to watch out for, so I'm going to go into phys ed here. Grade 10s you have to select phys ed, so I'm going to pick one of these. So in this case I'm just going to pick phys ed. And I've selected the one, so now I'm going to hit OK. Notice there's only one page here. When I go into English, I'm going to select some English. You'll notice some information here that there's some prerequisites information that it gives you. So if I want to select English 10-1, I must have a grade of 50% or more in English 9 or have a teacher recommendation. So I have to make sure I do that. You'll notice that there's some other ones like this English 10-4. You must have a teacher recommendation because that's for students in a specific program. So unless you know you're in that program and have that recommendation, you wouldn't select it. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to select English 10-2. And you'll see that in all those places. So I'm going to go through social. I'm going to pick a social class here. Doesn't matter for me at this point in time. Grade 10 science. So science, I'm going to choose either science 10 or science 14. In this case, there's a second choice if I'm planning on taking a science combined science English course. In this case, I'm just going to choose science 10. Again, I'm watching my prerequisites. I have to choose a math here, and I'm going to choose math 10-3. That's good. All right, so now you'll notice that I've got all green check marks on the side. And the other thing that you'll see at the bottom is that I have requesting 40 credit hours. I have to request at least 40 or 38, between 30 and 46, so I'm good. The one thing I haven't done yet that I should do is you'll notice that there's these alternative electives. So I've chosen 3 elective courses. Please choose at least one elective that's an alternate, so not the same course, but I've chosen those other ones. And let's say, well, if I don't get one of those electives, I'd like foods, and I can choose up to 4 here, Spanish. So those I'm only going to get if I can't get one of my other electives. So that's important. I should have those in there, but notice I didn't have to. We really request that you do that. So now I'm all done my selections. If this was a student selection screen, like for you guys, there would be a submit button at the bottom here. Because this is a test screen, I don't have one, but make sure you hit that submit button and then make sure you see your advisor to double check that you've selected the right courses. Thank you and have a good day.